Like school, e-learning.
Welcome back to the how-to guide for TOEFL. So now we're going to go on to question 2. Question 2 is called a paired choice question, which means there's 2 options, option 1 and option 2. And you have to pick the best one. You know, and it could be something like, do you like learning inside of the classroom or outside of the classroom? Or should college dormitories be single gender or co-ed? Those are very common questions. So you have to pick what you think is the best one. Now you only have 15 seconds to prepare and you have 45 seconds to speak. So that's not a lot of time. So it's really important to pick really quickly the easiest answer. It doesn't have to be what you really believe, but it should be what you think is easiest. So that should be, you know, 1 or 2 seconds max. The maximum amount of time you should spend picking your answer should be 1 or 2 seconds. So I'm just going to quickly do 1, and then I have the rest of my time to figure out why. And so once you pick the easiest answer, you should give at least 2 or 3 reasons why you have that answer. So your first sentence should be something that gives both options. So while some believe option 2 is the best, I think option 1 is better because. That's a really good way to introduce it, because you have to give both options and your preference in your first sentence, in your first 1 or 2 sentences. And then you give 2 or 3 reasons. So one example that's really common is, do you prefer the beach or the mountains? And I instantly chose mountains. I like the mountains better. And then I have the rest of that 15 seconds to make quick notes about why I prefer the mountains. First, just because I am from New Mexico in the United States, and that's full of mountains. I live at 7,000 feet. I'm used to mountains. That's where I grew up. And the mountains have clean air. By the beach, often it's a bit more polluted. And also you have amazing views. The landscape is amazing. From my house, I can see 90 miles, which is, I don't know how many kilometers, but very far. And it's really spectacular to be able to see that far. So this is what you can probably do in that 15 seconds. That means when you're speaking, you have to further develop each of these ideas. So New Mexico has mountains. While I'm speaking, I will say, you know, it was 7,000 feet. I know that right off the top of my head. Clean air. You know, beaches don't. Beaches don't have clean air. And the views, as I said, I can see for 90 miles from my house. So what this is in pink, this is what I add when I'm speaking, because of course this isn't going to fill up 45 seconds. Many times my students will spend maybe 5 to 8 seconds on the introduction sentence, while some people like option 2, I prefer option 1, or in this case, while many people like the beach, I prefer the mountains. Some take a little less time, some take a little longer. Just know the more time you spend on your introduction, the less time you have for reasons. So if you answer these, if you give yourself 2 or 3 reasons while you are writing during that 15 seconds, you should be able to add more while you are speaking, and that should be able to fill up the 40 seconds that you should be speaking.